Good morning, friends, and welcome to the pre-market update. A fresh new week for markets in this week. What we are expecting is to have a very weak opening in terms of the Asian markets, which are trading negative to around 1%. And also on Friday, we saw the markets closing down around 300 points on the back of the Infosys results, which were below the street expectations, and also the guidance which came out did not attract the investors in the markets, and because of which the overall sentiment is very weak. Also, as far as the flows are concerned, the FIs were sellers to the tune of around 27 odd crores, and also the DII were the sellers of around 310 odd crores, which is a provisional figure. Also, the US markets, which closed on a flattish note, but what we saw a huge sell-off in the bullions, in the gold and the silver prices in the international market, was down by around 4%. Today, being a fresh week, we have the WPI inflation numbers likely to come out, and which would pave a way as to what the RBI's step would be in the next monetary policy. Overall, for further cues and market updates, I would to call upon the analyst from the derivatives to take the further cues for the market.
Good morning, friends. Let's have a view on derivatives. From past couple of trading sessions, we have seen that markets are continuously trading in a negative terrain. On Friday also, Nifty started the session on lower note by around 70 points down. Because of weak results and lower guidance given by IT major stock Infosys. In spite of good IIP numbers at 0.6% and CPI at 10.39%, but markets couldn't sustain on higher note. In this period, we have seen that around 4 lakh shares were added in open interest, and Nifty futures premium also increased significantly from 0.8% from 0.8 points to 7 odd levels, which is indicating long positions were built up in the market and at lower levels. PCR is also quoting at 0.89, which is clearly indicating call option has added around 70 lakh shares in open interest, which is clearly visible in the strikes of 5,500, 5,600 followed by 5,700. And we have seen unwinding put options strikes of 5,500 followed by 5,600. If we talk about implied volatility, it is decreased by 3% to 10%, which is indicating overall our bias for the market is negative. And as Nifty future closed below our weekly VWAP of 5620, so our lower range for the market is 5450 and higher range is 5620. From intraday perspective, one can go long on Divi Slab with a stop loss of 1028.25, and one can go short on Steel Authority of India Limited with a stop loss of 60.80. Thank you.
From the MID updates and ideas for today. Today, I already mentioned that we have WPI numbers which are likely to come out today, and the expectations is around 6.27% as against 6.84% for the previous month, which would be around easing at around 40-month low. The overall consensus is a median of the estimates of 29 analysts in a Bloomberg News survey. Gold prices have seen a huge crash in the international market. In India also, the gold and silver prices are trading down by around 3.5 to 4%. The prices came under pressure amid fears that the central banks would now act in line with the European Union, which said that Cyprus needed to sell gold reserves to raise around 40 million euros to meet its financial needs. We believe that a stiff correction in the gold prices is negative for the non-banking financial companies having business of loan against gold, which faces slowdown in the loan business and increased chances of the bad debts going ahead, which is negative for companies like Manappuram Finance and Muthoot Finance. On a news update, the foreign fund Oppenheimer increased its stake in DLF to 5.18%, which is worth nearly rupees 2,200 crores at current valuations. DLF said that the Oppenheimer funds bought around 32.77 lakh shares or 0.19% from the open market on 11th of April. Leading jewelry retailer Gitanjali Group plans to set up a total of around 550 shops in India and abroad by end of this year, a top company official said. On the other news update, Larsen & Toubro will buy out Komatsu Limited's 50% stake in their joint venture that makes construction equipment and hydraulic components. On the other news, the Indian Finance Minister P. Chidambaram is going to start its roadshow today to meet its investors in Toronto and then to Ottawa, Boston, and New York to raise funds and to attract investments in India to reduce the current account deficit, which has been widening to around 6.5% of the GDP. On the long ideas for today, first and foremost, we have Lupin, which has received a US health regulator's approval for the generic version of Teva branded pharma's seasonic tablets used to prevent pregnancy. The OC market in the US is valued at around USD 5 billion and growing at around 8% annually, which is positive for a company like Lupin. And we recommend to go long today on an intraday perspective with a stop loss of 647 for target of 680 to 693. The other long idea for today is SAIL. SAIL-owned Gua iron ore mine in Jharkhand will resume production on Friday night following go-ahead from the State Pollution Control Board. The mining activity in Gua mines was suspended since June 2011. Action to be taken is long SAIL with stop loss of 58.5 for target of 6.15 and 62.5. Suzlon will be clearing the decks for its debt recast. Suzlon shareholders have approved for $1.8 billion debt restructuring package. Action to be taken is long Suzlon for a target of 14.5 and keeping a stop loss of 13. That's it, friends, from the MID ideas for today. Thanks and have a nice trading day.